right, ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. I'm just going to cut that short. What's up, everybody? You are now tuned into the Black Ramen Podcast. I, myself, you know who it is, the host with the most, aka Chatty Patty, aka Madam Straw Hat, aka I am the celestial freaking dragon, aka this is my pirate ship, aka I am the freaking Buster Call. And today we have a special episode called Artist Alley. You know how we get down with the Artist Alley. We have beautiful, inspiring artists that I just have to have on the show because I got to chop it up with them because, you know, I'm obsessed with talent. So please. You didn't think I was going to do that, right? I should have warned you, right? She's like, damn, she just dropped the intro and just paused it. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Gigi Murakami. I go by Koyuki Panda online. I am a manga artist and illustrator, and I do horror, sci-fi, and pulp kind of artwork with Black women in the lead.
Yeah, I saw your booklet too, which was amazing. I've never seen like Black artistry in that type of what you call it, pulp. Yeah, pulp.
Ain't that a weird word, pulp?
Yeah, pulp. I think of orange juice, like no pulp. Hold the pulp. Like,
hold the pulp. That's exactly how it sounds. Hold the pulp.
But yeah, I met this amazing artist. Shout out to Sonic Boombox. It was an art market. And that was last week or the week before that?
I think it was a week before that, about 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago, and I came across her table, and when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I was obsessed. I was like, oh, nah.
Spit out my soda.
I was high key obsessed, and she saw it, but I like how she kept it cool with me, because I was like, you did this? All right, so like, how much is this? And I want this too. I like the shirt. We just chopped it up. I love the fact that Gigi spoke to me like I was the only one in the room. Like, she was like, yo, fuck these sales. Let's chop. She was like, let's chop it up. I was super excited. She had amazing work. I'll post it on our Instagram, but you know, I had to drop a couple. Yo, if she was around during when I got my stimulus check, it would have been a wrap. I would have definitely had to claim her on my taxes because these pins are amazing. She had shirts. You had posters, right?
I did have posters, yeah.
Yeah, she had posters. She had pins, shirts, keychains. You had keychains.
I had keychains, yeah. Some of the stuff that I actually had that night though were going out of stock. It's gonna be dead stock, so. You know, they were discounted because the stuff the posters, the art prints, that's all of the new stuff that I'm doing. Oh. So I don't know if you're going to get into this a little later, but just for a little bit of context, but trying not to get too into it just in case you wanted to talk about that later. But
drop it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. So I currently my style, what I'm doing now is kind of like infusing like vintage pulp Americana kind of style with like Japanese manga art, but like using it but like kind of like conceptualizing like the Black female experience through like horror and sci-fi. So like that's a lot of the newer stuff. So some of the older stuff was more I like to call it my Disney days. I'm making a Disney transition.
Really?
So, the Disney kid transition. So, yeah. But I'll be making newer pins and keychains further on down the line. But
yeah, because the merch was great. But for the listeners, just in case, when I think of pulp, I think of, remember back in the day, the early edition of Swamp Thing, where they had like the old vintage art where it was like horror and you see the girl screaming and she had I know that's not a perfect way to describe pulp, but how do you describe pulp? Like for the listeners, for them who don't know.
That's a pretty accurate description, I feel. the thing about like with my style that I'm noticing is that I personally just really like old vintage pulp, which the technical term for pulp, the technical meaning is basically like it's kind of like a small like comic magazine, but it's printed on cheap paper and it's kind of a throwaway. It's like a very American sort of thing. And actually for manga, they kind of like picked it up in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So like with Shonen Jump, sometimes you'll get Shonen Jump or other like Shonen magazines, the paper will be like super cheap or like different colors or something like that. And that's kind of from pulp. It's meant to be easily disposable. You're supposed to read it and just kind of throw it away. So it's like printed on cheap paper.
Okay.
So it's just
kind of like the Penny Dreadfuls. Remember the
yeah.
They
Exactly. But as far as pulp goes, it's pretty the topics can kind of range from a lot of different things. So like horror, sci-fi, there's even like erotic pulp.
Oh, that's my shit. Okay.
I know it's scandalous, right?
I know, right? That shit, you know, that's all my
little
shit.
Fake, you know what I'm saying? With the little thigh action. But like all of that, like the vintage kind of like pulp, Americana kind of feel, and also like vintage movie posters from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. That all of that stuff, EC Comics and like Tales from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, all of that stuff kind of influences my style. But on top of that, I'm also like super influenced by like Japanese manga. So all of that is tied up into the work that I'm doing now.
Praise Oda. Just had to put that out there. No, I totally, I get you. I get you 100%. One of the things that I'm so mad that you didn't get a chance to meet. First of all, shout out to Bree and Derby, my co-hosts. I'm so mad you didn't get to meet them, but they're on vacay right now. But yeah, they are super, like, they love fan art. They love artistry. This is one of the reasons I feel like most of us as anime watchers and anime lovers and comic book lovers, we just genuinely love it for the art first, and I think story later. Because there's something about movement and detail that a person can do on a sheet of paper, and you're just like, oh, that is like breathtaking. So of course we fall in love with that first. But yeah, this is how, ladies and gentlemen, this is how I met Gigi. Gigi had me at awe. She had me at hello. And Frankie was there, right? Frankie was there. And I'm like, yo, Frankie, you got to get a pen. She was like, yeah. I said, yo, I got you. This one is like, you get one for $6, but if you buy two, it's like 2 for $10. And I was like, you want two? She was like, I'll just take this one. You can have the other one. I said, say less. I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to expose myself right now. Let me tell you what happened. Like throughout the night, I kept on looking at Frankie's bag because the pen that she took was really nice. And I was like, maybe I should just sneak and just take that pen. I mean, like, she ain't going to notice. Like, she ain't going to notice. But I didn't because that would be wrong of me if I did do that. That would be wrong of me. But
I mean, if she ain't like noticed, like
I mean, true. It's like, oh sis, you ain't noticed. Like,
right.
I like how you support my cunningness, and then you supposed to be like, no, that's not good. You like, bitch, if she ain't know, take that shit.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The funny thing is like that night, that was the first time that I met Frankie in person, but we had been acquainted online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We actually, first of all, I was following her already. I was like following some of her like hot takes, her fanboy fighting. I was just sipping all types of tea on that one. But
it's fantastic burger, y'all.
Right. So, but we were both called into a meeting actually with Noir Caesar. It was me, her, and a bunch of other creators, and you know, just some talks happening.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, well, I'm not the only woman here. Wow. Okay. All right. So we had been acquainted like a bit online, but that was the first time I met her in person. So it was like, oh, this is kind of dope. Yeah, this is pretty dope.
That is dope. She really did love your artwork. I told her I was obsessed, and she was like, "You need to calm down, sis." Because if you keep acting like this, I don't think she's gonna work with you. I'm like, all right. I'll be cool. So I was trying my hardest to be smooth the rest of the night. I was like, is she gonna stay for the party? Because
I actually did end up staying for the party.
Really?
But I didn't stay too long. How can I put this? So you got me in the middle of the evening. My brain is fried. This is like some real, like, this about to be some real, like, off the cuff. Like,
yes, sis, I got my water. Let's go.
I got my club soda. I'm about to crack open another one.
Go ahead.
So my husbando needed to get some work done because he had helped me set up, and he had left, and he just needed some more time. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay a little later than I planned to, and you get done what you need to get done, and come back once you finish. So I ended up staying almost 2 hours longer than I intended to, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
this party is kind of lit.
Yeah.
Yo, I hadn't been out in such a long time, and like it was just hit after hit after hit. And it was like it's DJ, oh my gosh, DJ
Taylor Senpai and DJ Control Freak. Senpai. They are anytime when they throwing a party, I'm just like, all right, where we at? Because they know how to drop tunes, and they had some, the OPs that they were playing, I swore I was singing like I was in my living room. Like, I did not care. It was
so good.
I did not freaking care. Like, niggas is like, what you sing? I said, nigga, you don't know this shit. This is Koyuki, bitch. Like, I was just like, yo, when the Koyuki came, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, Jibu, Sakai, Sai. Well, like, I was going in. You couldn't tell me nothing.
You know how long it's been since I heard that song? I was like, hold up. What?
Listen, when the trumpets come, yo, when the blowhorns come, I'm
dead.
Like, yeah, it was a wrap. I was just like, Frank was like, what the fuck you doing? I said, dance, bitch, this is my shit. It was, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to a Sonic Boombox party, please, it's like a nerd benefit. It's like a stress reliever. The fact that we were just cooped in during the pandemic, and then we were able to come out and enjoy each other with other blurred otakus, with anime music, R&B, hip hop, reggae, soca, reggaeton. It was just amazing, and
it was so good.
Yo, I'm on their newsletter, so like whenever they have a party, I just get emails like, should I go to this one? Of course. Why am I asking myself this stupid question? Like, they have all the greatest DJs.
It's so cool because so DJ Taylor Senpai is another one that I know online. He's another acquaintance, and I met him for the first time that night too, and that was really dope. We've been involved in online events that have been hosted by Sonic Boombox. Yeah. So to meet in person was really dope, and it was just like a full dope ass night because all of these people that I had met and like that I had known of and like just like on the internet space, but like didn't know how close in proximity they were to me. Right. Like I met pretty much that night, and it was just like it was a really good night. It was a good night.
I know it was. It was. Man, the back of my shirt was soaked. I already know it was a good night.
Truly. And I didn't even get on the dance floor. I'm sitting behind my booth. Everybody's shaking ass, and I'm like, I'm in the booth, like, hey.
It was lit.
Yo, and then shout out to Cindy, Cindy the organizer. She she got me some free drinks, and I was like, oh girl, okay.
Girl, when the liquor start flowing.
it was oh my god, I felt like Terry Crews and White Chicks. Cause nobody was paying attention to the vendors no more. Like nobody was paying attention to the vendors. It was a good time for me. I did well at the show. It was nice. Everybody was nice. And it was like after a certain time, it was like, all right, we out. And then everybody was on the dance floor, and I was like, I'm gonna still be here though. So I'm gonna still be here. I got my tater tots. I got my little beer on the side. And I was like Terry Crews, just blowing the whistle by myself at the booth. Just jamming away.
Yeah.
It was mad nice.
The moment you said Terry Crews, I was like, oh, Shadi was in the booth doing this. That what he do with the arm shit that he always do, and he did the.
I was chilling. I was just chilling by myself. I was enjoying the time. I was like, yo, the night can't get any better than this. There were people that had bought stuff in my shop before that I had met only online. There was one specific girl. I had met her in person. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. So thank you so much for the support. And she had bought stuff there, and she got a picture, and I was like, but like, you know, it was just a really good ass night. It was a really, really good ass night. It was nice. It was really nice. I'm looking forward to being in that kind of space for the upcoming year. Hopefully, you know, Miss Rona can kind of get the hint and like clear up on out. But
I'm praying.
Truly.
Because I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends. I'm tired of being in the crib. I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends and have fun and just connect with people. And being trapped in the crib with COVID, it kind of it forces you to have to interact with your supporters and people that you do business with, networking virtually. Like you couldn't do it like before when you met in spaces and be like, yo, what's going on? Let's do this. Let's set up a meeting. Everything was virtual. So, but I mean, at least you were able to see some of your supporters, and you were able to meet Senpai, Taylor Senpai. You met Frankie. That was good. I met you.
We met.
So, you know what? It was a connection there. I was like, yo, Shuddy. And you had drip too. Yeah, your fit was fresh. Your fit was fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, her fit was fresh. Her fit, I was like, ooh, okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. I could definitely see you in one of those loft parties with it, like, you know, in Soho or something, like just, I was like, yo, she is like, I like this.
It's changing up. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Like 2020 was a transformative year in more than one way, in good ways and in bad ways. But like in the positive ways for me, that it was transformative. It did a lot. It did a lot. Even down to the drip.
Really? I mean, but I feel like as artists, you're always reinventing yourself, and you don't do it on purpose. I feel like there's always levels to your growth as a creative, you know, and it transitions in like into your personal life and how you dress yourself and how you carry yourself and how your mood is. So it's just like the same way.
So here's the thing though. I don't mean to cut you off,
but
ahead. Just before you move over. So here's the thing though, with me personally. So with me, I don't disagree. I think that that's very true. I think that that's true. But with me, like I've been a New Yorker all my life, born and raised here. And like,
you gotta say you're.
I've seen, huh?
You gotta be there.
Born and raised here. I'm Bronx born and raised.
Woo! 161 right here. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I was at I used to live at 174th by Bronx River though.
Oh, you over there? Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm. That's my old stomping grounds over there. But like, so the thing is, even though I think that that's true, for me, I felt so much limitation that I could not do that. Like, I felt like I was supposed to fit in this certain like space, especially being a Black woman. Mm-hmm. Like I was supposed to fit in this kind of like I can't be a certain way. I can't dress a certain way. I can't listen to certain things or like be into certain things. So like that really affected me. And I feel like even though the people who have known me like very deeply throughout my life kind of know what I'm about, I feel like I haven't been able to fully accept that part of me until just recently, honestly. And that's like down to the drip. That's down to the art, that transition in my work, and like kind of outwardly presenting the stuff that I enjoy. All of that stuff I feel like came with the pandemic. So it's been a lot. And it's like the community that I created online called The Collective. That is something that we all kind of like bond over is the fact that like not everybody in the collective is Black, but like it's a majority of Black people in there who enjoy alternative shit, who are blurs, who like, you know, sci-fi and gaming and horror and like just general nerdy shit. Like rock music, like alternative shit, but just like it's like I feel some type of way, like I feel some type of pressure that I can't really do that, you know. And it's obvious to like also how you present yourself, like with your fashion and everything too. So it's like, you know, that the fact that you say that and that like that's like something that is being responded to positively makes me feel really good, because it took me years to get to the point where it's like I'm gonna dress the way that I want to dress, and like I'm going to do this in my way. I'm not going to dress alternatively as like most people think of alternative or like punk or metal in the way that they think, but there's that, but like I'm going to switch it up also. So I appreciate that. Like that honestly means a lot, because it took a long time to get to that point.
Same. I think that's for a lot of
I have to make it more serious, but like
I mean, it's true. Like I had to reach a certain age to not, you know, to have no fucks to give, to actually be in my skin and dress the way that I want to dress. I've been obsessed with, you know, 80s pop culture, 90s. So a lot of stuff I wear is very vintage. Some of the things I have now, these pieces that I collect, like multicolored vests and kufis and stuff like that. Some of those things were like, I literally have a Beverly Hills Cop Eddie Murphy varsity jacket, the one that he wore, the Detroit Lions
on the cover.
Yeah, I had to cop it. I love vintage stuff and stuff like that. I want to be wearing.
You're gonna love old Gigi. You're gonna love old Gigi, because I went through that phase. I went through that fashion phase. I still have some pieces too, some vintage pieces. Once we get off of here, I'm gonna show you.
Oh, it's a wrap.
You're gonna be like, what?
It's a wrap. It is a wrap. See, it was meant for us to meet. It was.
I know, right?
Gigi, stop. We need the audience to get to know you. We forget. This is how much of a vibe, ladies and gentlemen. We forget that we're recording. We're just talking. This is why I wanted her on the show, because she's like a breath of fresh air, and I forget that I literally forgot we were recording until I saw the thing, and I was like, oh, we 23 minutes in. Okay. So, and I had all these questions lined up trying to be mad professional, right? But then we just got into our thing, because, you know, when we met, it was an awesome night. Again, shout out to Sonic Boombox. Shout out to, it was amazing. Shout out to DJ Taylor Senpai. Shout out to my favorite DJ Control Freak, Darius. Shout out to him. And everybody, all the artists that attended that night, shout out to y'all too, because y'all were amazing.
Some of them were my friends. Definitely shout out to them.
Yeah, they brought out some shit. I was like, damn.
Totally.
This what you was doing during the pandemic? God damn.
Totally.
They were awesome pieces. So what I wanted to ask you was, how was it for you growing up as an artist? Like, did you get the nurturing and the support that you needed to be who you are today? Or was it more of, I got to do it for me. I got to support me because people aren't taking me seriously. Like, how was it for you growing up as an artist?
It was interesting, because I wasn't shunned and I wasn't like discouraged from doing art, but it was kind of like, oh, you know, she's 6, like she's just drawing. Like, right. Nobody's really like, you know, nobody's she's just drawing. Right. So the older that I got with it, I think people started to notice that I was serious. And like, for me, I never had a doubt in my mind that I would do art. It just happened in a different way. When I was younger, I wanted to do Disney. I wanted to be an animator for Disney. And then when I got to high school, I was like, oh, actually, animation is not for me. don't like it. Gonna stick to illustration. But I had been doing comics like since I was younger, but not really thinking much about it. And also like, I don't know, it just kind of came second nature to me. It was like as natural as breathing after a while. So like, I didn't really, I guess when I was younger, I didn't like hype it up for people to be like, okay, like she's gonna, you know, whatever. It was just like, I just always had a sketchbook. And if I didn't have a sketchbook, if people had paper and a pencil or a pen, I was always doing something.
Ready to go.
I feel like, I feel like my family was not, you know, they weren't against me doing it. They weren't not supportive. But at the same time, I don't think that everybody was in a place to sort of push me fully, you know, push me financially. I talk about this all the time about how like I grew up mad poor. We were poor.
Preaching to the choir.
So yeah, and I feel like nobody, like, you know, people don't really talk about that shit, but like we was poor. When Kendrick said syrup sandwiches, I was like, bruh, like I can trust you because you be knowing.
Yeah.
So
you don't know me, sir. I felt a little offended.
You telling my whole life, Kendrick. I'm gonna put that in the album jacket or something. Like, so.
I need my cut. That's what I need. I need my cut for that album.
Right? I do. Right. My trauma coins. But but it's like the trauma coins. But nobody talks about that, and it's like, you know, all right. I'm not that nobody talks about it. People talk about it, but it's just like in this sort of space, in the art space, like visual arts rather, nobody really talks about that. And if it is, it's more of a degrading kind of thing. And it's like, that's not it. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's just, it is what it is. But because of it, I think people couldn't push me as far as maybe they had wanted to, or, you know, it just happened. But I think it was kind of a mixed situation where it's like, okay, we don't mind this, but the sentiment was, we don't mind, but you need to not be in the streets. Like you need to not be a starving artist.
Right.
You need to kind of figure out like how to make money. You need to not throw all your eggs in this basket, and you definitely need to find some type of way to sustain yourself. And if this is not going to be it, but you want to do it, you need to find an alternative.
Plan A.
Yeah.
So this can be your plan B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, when was the breaking point when you, not the breaking point, but when it finally clicked that, yo, this is it. I can't see myself not doing this.
It was early. I would say I was probably 8. I was ready. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to do animation, but like, I was like, this honestly, like maybe like 8 years old, like I'm not there. I can't do anything else. Like I just love to draw so much. As far as work though, I mean, I don't know, I guess, yeah, probably like 8 years old. But as far as, not work, but like business, I don't know. I just always wanted to do this, but I guess as far as business and like really making moves in a monetary kind of way, that started probably college. I might have been like 22, maybe 22, something like that. Not fully understanding the potential of like what I could be doing, and like how, like really at that time, not putting in too much of like the work to sort of get that done. But slowly it's creeping in my mind that like, hey, maybe I should start selling my stuff. Let's see what happens there. And I want to say 2012, 2013 was like my first anime convention. I think 2012 was the first time I did like an art market, like an art show kind of market situation. And I didn't have any like prints or anything, so I was just doing commissions. Made no money, but it was mad fun. And then I did my first anime convention in 2013 at what is it, Polytech University in Brooklyn. That was the first one I did. Again, made no money, but I had a good time. I had met some other artists, and it was a good time. So definitely, first time I knew I wanted to do art forever, even if I wasn't gonna make no money at it forever. I was probably 8. I was like, I can't not do this. This has to be like my purpose. But then making money, probably like 21, 22, like maybe a little older than that, honestly, maybe 24, I'd say 24, 23, and just like, okay, I can make money with this, or I can try. Like, let me give it an actual shot to try.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, from what you know now, what one piece of advice you would give to other Black artists who are just starting out, who just had that, light come on and say, this is what I want to do? What would your advice be to them?
Oh, it's always nice when I get this question. 'Cause there's so much advice, but but I would say study business, study finance. You don't have to go to college and have a college course on it. You can honestly check it out online, read books, audio books on it, take notes, make a plan. The earlier that you make a plan, the easier things will be. I would say, yeah, that's basically it. Honestly, love it. Draw, learn as much as you can, and if you want to make money from it, understand what that entails from a business and finance side. Because like your love will pull you through the technical aspects of art. Your love will get you through learning how to do the hard stuff. But you do have to kind of put the extra work in to learn the business and the finances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to be living like some of these mangakas and eating ramen noodles. And all you got to feed and pay the bills is your passion.
I mean, everybody has to go through that at some point.
Yeah,
everybody got to go through that. But like, I don't want to die broke.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta die rich.
Right.
But like my goal is to at least die comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if I can make it to rich, even better. I have something to leave off for my kids. You know what I'm saying? But like
icing on the cake.
Yeah. But like I don't wanna die broke. Like I've been broke already. I've been poor already. I don't want to die poor.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Especially in New York, it's not a game out here.
It's not.
Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back after these important messages. BlackRamenPodcast.com, where we officially have merch. As a link to our merch, we have mugs, we have bags, we got sweaters, we got t-shirts, we got white.
We got masks.
We got masks, so you can stay safe. Yes, wear your mask, people, and don't do the chin warmer. Don't do that. Cover your face so you can have the beautiful logo of which is Black Ramen, and then you could just floss. It's New York drip that you can wear with your Timbs. And I say this all the time. Do not be caught slipping without the merch. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And they got all amazing different colors. It's there. Don't tell me, oh, it's just in black. No, it's not just in black. We just picked black for the display. It's got all the different colors in it. Just click it. So we do have merch, ladies and gentlemen. Stop asking. Just buy it. We got merch.
Right. You don't got an excuse no more.
Back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress. I always wanted to say that.
So this teacher, I don't think he meant anything by it.
They never do.
I don't think he meant anything by it, but I was I remember this clear as day, where we were trying to learn Photoshop. And this was like,
I hate Photoshop. Go ahead.
I love Photoshop. I love it now, but at the time I was just learning it. I must have been like, I don't know, 15, 16, something like that. But, and as we discussed already, I grew up poor. I didn't really have like the tools to utilize Photoshop outside of school. And we needed to learn Photoshop for this lesson because we had to do some character sheets and we had to color them in Photoshop. And I'll never forget this. I was begging my teacher, like, to teach me how to do it. And some people already had Photoshop. And they knew how to do it. But I wanted him to teach me because, like, I wanted the attention of my teacher. Like, I wanted, like, this was my art teacher. My passion, like, is art since I was very young. So, like, I wanted to talk to him about it. I didn't want to talk to my peers at the time. And he was kind of snubbing me a little bit and, like, was attending to another student who happened to be white and male. And this was a favorite student of his, actually. And he just felt like he needed more attention than I did. And I felt some type of way about that. And as a young person growing up in the hood, like, you know, we ain't always got the skills to articulate properly how we feeling in the moment. And I blew up on him and I screamed on him in the middle of the class and was like, I want you to teach me. Like, why aren't you teaching me? And I don't know if he understood that was coming from like a genuine place of wanting to learn, or if he just saw this frustration. But he was just like, you have a classmate that knows this. Like, can you like, they'll teach you. And I never got that moment, and I never forgot that. Like I said, I still know this teacher. From time to time, I go back to the school when they're having events and stuff, and I'll still see him, and we're cool. And I don't really have a problem with him. I haven't really faced many situations like that with him, so it could have totally been a one-off, but it did make me feel some type of way, especially since he did say that he plays favorites, and you know, it could have been just joking, but he really was attentive to that other student. And like, that's no shade to that student because I know him too, and like, you know, I love my graduating class, and I love my other younger or older like A&D alumni. It's like we really are like an extended. It feels like a sorority almost. It feels like you went, not a sorority, but like it feels like an exclusive club. So it's no shade to anybody with this, but it did make me feel some type of way. And I never spoke to him about it, but I did blow up on him though. And like, I don't know if he understood, but it was like, yo,
he gonna learn
teach
today,
me.
though. Yeah.
You like, teach me. I want to learn. I'm not in here trying to make trouble. I'm not trying to like, I really want to learn. And like, I never forgot that, but that made me feel uncomfortable because it was a white male student that he was paying more attention to. There weren't a ton of Black female students in the class. And it just made me feel some type of way. It made me feel like, it didn't make me feel good as a young person. I didn't appreciate it. I think the more blatant incident that I've dealt with was definitely in college. There was a fine arts class that I was in. We were doing a lot of paintings and stuff, and it was not an art school. Didn't go to art school, didn't have the grades for it. I was not a good student. I wasn't like a bad student as far as like being reckless, and like I wasn't a troublemaker, but I just was not like a great student. Like, I don't know the way that schools are set up. It's not always meant for everybody to succeed, you know?
That's what I told my mom too. The way school is set up, Mom, the way these assignments are set up, nah.
It's just not.
It's not hitting.
It's not hitting
whack.
the way you think it's hitting.
Nah.
Like, it's not giving like
what it was supposed to
education.
Yeah.
Like the way you think it's
right.
giving.
Right. I get you.
It's not. So, you know, but went to that college, and I was in the fine arts program, and it was one of those schools where it's like nobody was really going to the art classes to take art seriously. People were going there to be athletes or like nursing, you know, just different career paths. And I was the only person I was in there that was actually doing art. And I started doing a lot of paintings in that class. And one of the assignments that we got was to just do people's portraits, do portraits and like work with the human figure. So I was like, bet, I love drawing people. So I started drawing a bunch of portraits, but they were portraits of Black women. One of the portraits I did was a self-portrait. I did a few self-portraits actually, because I didn't know, there wasn't like Pinterest and like decent internet like it is now. So it's like there wasn't anything I could just Google up real quick and be like, okay, Black model or Black, you know, just something quick so I could have reference. So I just did myself. I had a mirror, and I went to work. And I did a portrait of me. I did a portrait of the person that I was dating at the time, who at the time was a Black woman.
Okay.
So it was just like a lot of Black people, Black women, essentially Black femmes. So the teacher was like, wow, this is really good, in the middle of one of my paintings. And it was just like, do you think maybe you want to try to experiment with different skin tones? And I was like, you know that meme, that one white dude where the frame is like this and he's just like,
yeah, with the blinking eyes. Oh God.
Because definitely, I mean, if I was maybe one of two, not like just like a few of Black girls in my high school class, in my like arts class, definitely the school that I went to, it was majority white. I was absolutely the only Black girl and Black person in the class. So like, are you telling that to everybody else? I didn't say that because, like I said, I'm not a troublemaker. But had I said that, it would have been like, are you saying that to everybody else? Like, because we got a majority like white class, and everybody else's portraits are white people. Who else am I drawing? Should I start drawing Asian people? Is that what you mean?
Of course.
Like, what? You know, like, come on now, make it make sense.
White
make
people.
It make sense.
White people.
It's just like, come on now. Like, you're not even being subtle, because I really am the only Black person in here. So like, that to me was the more blatant of the two examples, and it didn't hurt as much because it was like, girl,
right?
Like, girl,
right?
This obvious. That other thing, that high school event, that situation hurt. That situation hurt, because that was like a teacher that I really respected. I still respect him. I wish it hadn't have gone down like that, but that hurt. It hurt. That was my teacher, you know. I'm looking for his approval. I'm his student. I want to do well. So that one hurt.
Nah, it would have to, like, especially if I'm looking for you to actually be able to guide me in a direction where I want to go as an artist, right?
Yeah.
You want your, like, it doesn't matter. 9 times out of 10, when you're first coming into the scene and you realizing that you got to perfect your craft and you're focused on it, you want people, and I don't want to say this, but fuck it, you want people to acknowledge you as an artist. You want them to see what you see, right? It's the acceptance. It is when you get on later and you're in a space where, because I feel like at some point as an artist, you don't give a fuck and you just put out shit because you know what's good and you don't need validation from anybody. But when I feel like when you're starting out, it's like, all right, I want to be an artist. It's more so you got to convince yourself. You have to tell yourself. And sometimes that's not enough. You need the validation of others, especially the people that is supposed to mentor you. So yeah. I get it. I get it.
And that's why that shit hurts so much, because it's like, wow, like you really made me feel like I'm second to this person. Mm-hmm. And like I'm maybe even third, fourth, or fifth, because I'm not even learning from you. Like you didn't even take the time after the fact. Like you had my peer teach me, which makes me feel even more inadequate to some extent, you know? So that one hurt. That one hurt. I never spoke to him about that though. I don't know. Maybe in the future if he's still working at the school, but
nah, fuck him. I mean, respectfully. I'm just saying respectfully,
because that did hurt my feelings. It did hurt my feelings. But just to kind of circle it back to the rest of the question, you were talking about hair texture and skin tone, and this was actually something that we kind of discussed at the anime market.
Yeah.
Where, like for me, I definitely had to learn how to do hair and skin by myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of glad. So this is the thing where like that second story goes full circle, right? Because honestly, I feel like the whole shit ties into it, because I had my one teacher who was like, you know, it hurt, but like he kind of like left me on my own. And it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just do me then. And then it's like, now I get to college and I'm still just doing me. And instead of, and mind you, you had discussed earlier about like, once you became 20, that you were like, okay, I want to draw Black people, but how do I do this?
Right.
That happened for me when I was in high school. So I'm 16, 17, like with my friend, one of my good friends at the time, and was like, oh, and mind you, we wasn't drawing white people. We was weeb. So we was drawing like Japanese people. We was drawing anime people. And it's like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Let's draw some Black people. So that transition happened then. But then, like I said, being left to my own devices, and then going into college, going into the fine arts program, continuously left to my own devices. And I was a good artist at that time. I was the only like real artist. So people like thought my stuff was good or whatever. But because I was left to my own devices, and because I was like, I'm not going to practice drawing white skin because I know how to do that already. I don't really know how to draw darker skin. So during those painting exercises, I was teaching myself how to do that. Mm-hmm. So like it all ties back, where it's like she wasn't teaching us how to do that. Of course not. She wasn't teaching us how to do that. Mm-hmm. She didn't even send me a list of resources, because, you know, granted, I shouldn't be made to feel this way, but I am the odd man out. So if she decided she was just going to do like, you know, just do fair skin or whatever, and just do that as a lesson, but then had me on the side and be like, hey, here's some resources where you can learn how to do this. Let me know if you have any questions. That wasn't even something that happened. I feel like, even though it shouldn't have had to been that way, had it been that way, that would have been more acceptable to me. Because mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you don't want me to feel left out. You understand that like I'm the odd man out in this situation, and like you still have to conduct the whole class. People should still try to teach how to draw different color skin, but you know, sometimes the way shit's set up, you know.
No, I totally get you, but at the same time too, I feel like that professor should have went above and beyond, knowing that you were the only
one. Totally.
That was especially the fact that you were more talented than most of the people in the class. That's number one. You stopped out of everybody, was like, wow, this is good.
You know what? To be honest, I never even thought about it that way either. And that's no shade to the people that were in my class, but they literally were in the class to just chill. Like they were not trying to have an art career.
To them, it's an elective. Yeah.
Right. It's an elective. So like nobody was really putting the effort. I was putting the effort. So like naturally when critique came, it's like, oh, look at herself, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's not to like, you know, big myself up. That was just the situation.
Right.
But like, to your point, I never even thought about that shit. Like, yeah, considering that I am the only one. But also like, because I'm telling you, this is my career. Why aren't you taking that time But that's why I'm saying, like, I never thought about it before, but like these stories do kind of tie into each other. They do play into each other.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because it's like in both situations in the growth of my art career, I was denied like teaching access by both of my teachers who were both white, one male, one female.
Right.
But either way, I was not prioritized in the teaching. So a lot of that I did have to learn myself. I had to learn hair myself. I had to learn hair myself. And it's not even like, there's this thing that's online with younger artists where it's like, I'm self-taught, blah, 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 blah. Look at me. And it's like, shut your ass up. You're not self-taught. Everybody has to learn from somewhere. But it's like, it wasn't even my mentality. It wasn't meant to be like, I'm self-taught. It's like, no, I actually want to learn this. Like, who can teach me this?
Right.
I'm trying to save as much time as possible. Who's gonna step up to the plate and help me out? And like, I don't know. And it just didn't happen. And we had discussed this before where it's like, the art books don't really do it. They don't really teach you this.
No.
They don't teach you this. So it's like, I don't know, if I'm gonna be honest, these situations don't deserve grace. But if I'm gonna give a bit of grace, maybe they were intimidated. Maybe they didn't know what to tell me because they didn't know how to do it. So maybe they were like, I'm not trying to look foolish in front of this kid. So I'm just going to have her sit to her own devices, which could have been the case. Totally could have been the case. I don't know.
I'm not taking that. I'm not buying that.
Not at all. Have to.
Not at all.
Totally don't have to.
That is the right there. I'm so fucking upset because at the end of the day, you as a teacher are paid to teach me. And if I ask you a particular question or I need you to help me with this, if you cannot find, if it's beyond what you can teach, your job.
Send me in another direction.
Send me in another direction. That's it. That's it. You are a teacher. There's no reason for you to sit there and say you have favorites or whatever the case is. It could be a joke. That's a bad fucking joke. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Especially if I'm busting my ass and I'm better than half of these fucking mediocre white people in this class and you're going to sit there and talk about, can't you learn from them? Or can this be a different color? This is why majority of artists, black artists, when it comes to hair textures, when it comes to skin tones, majority of them have to go elsewhere. It's self-taught. It is self-fucking-taught. Like, understand this, people. It's okay. I understand why it's self-taught because of the problematic issues that we have in our society when it comes to black artists. Like, it just happened yesterday that we got proper skin tones and makeup. Like, it just happened yesterday. There is no everybody thought it was either light skin, brown, dark skin. That was it. There's different shades, different tones. There's undertones that complement your surface. Like, there's so many shit. So much shit. And then you mean to tell me that out of all this, you're asking me to go to the default, which is white pasty skin, mayonnaise? Like, this is what you want. This is what's acceptable, right? So, no, I'm not. If you don't know, no, you shouldn't be a teacher. You shouldn't be a teacher. That's how I feel, because you as a professor, you as a teacher, you have to understand that you're going to have students from different walks of life that you're going to have to teach, especially when it comes from art. So you got to get ready. You're not even a teacher. You're a professor. So that means you're getting the coin. You're getting the coin.
Right.
So it's not like it's not like you're a high school teacher, which most of them are pissed off because some of the janitors are making way more money than the teachers. Let's be honest. Teachers get paid shitty. We get that. Right. I get that. But at this point, as a professor, you have to be mindful that right now, this is more so like you have to provide what needs to be given to your students as a creative, right? Understand you have different students from different walks. You got POCs. They're not going to sit there and want to draw Mary Jane. They're not going to sit there and want to draw this and that. I want to see myself. I want to draw myself. I want to draw people that look like me. Like, I thought for the longest that black hair texture was the most difficult shit to draw. But but it's so beautiful. when you execute it, it's so beautiful.
Really easy when you figure out how to do it too.
Yeah,
it's really easy
once you want to do it, and it doesn't seem like a burden when you ask somebody like, "Hey, not somebody, but a professor, hey, I want to draw different textures. I want to do this." Like it's fucked up. Like it's really fucked up. Like it's thank God there's more artists now, but they like for the new artists that's coming out, the Gen Zers, you got Pinterest and you got YouTube. You're welcome, bitch, because I came from a time where the default was always drawing white mediocre women. If it's not either Madonna, or fucking what's her name, Marilyn Monroe, or what's her what was
Marilyn
it?
Monroe's a big one.
See, that's a big one. That's a big one. And what's her name? The one from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Audrey Hepburn.
See, those swerves, those styles, those bangs, those are the things I was obsessed with because you had to be into detailing and when it came to hair. And I love that. But come on now. There's nothing like executing curls, froze, twists. And when you execute it well to the point you got the baby hairs right here just laying straight. Like the fact that you could do that as an artist, come on, pat yourself on the back. But the reason I asked you this is because I know you know how the struggle is for Black artists. And everybody's struggle is different. But what is it that you could tell other artists who are just stepping in the game and who might have to encounter this type of bullshit?
I would say don't let it break your spirit. Don't let it break your spirit. It's the same whack shit like everything else, honestly. Like, and you gonna know because you know if you Black, you're gonna have to deal with it in all different facets. So like, it's gonna creep up. I would even say understand that it's gonna creep up before it comes, so that way you're not blindsided and you could be like, oh, this is what we're on. Okay, I'm gonna sit over here and do my own thing. Mm-hmm. I would say at some point, like you are gonna have to teach yourself. Like I said, I grew up poor, so I didn't have any real resources to like get somebody to teach me on the side. Like I couldn't hire a teacher, or like I couldn't there was literally nothing that I had to do other than to teach myself. So it's like I'm Black and I'm poor. It's like double against me where I can't do these things. If you Black and you got a little bit of money, I don't know if your parents gonna throw coins to like get you a teacher and like a proper, class situation set up. And even then they still might not teach you. But it's like, it's whack and it's extra work and it's fucked up. But I do feel like that is something for now, because it will change. I'm 100% sure that it will change. But for now, I would say, be prepared for that and don't let it break your spirit. It's not right. It's totally not right. Mm-hmm. But don't let it break your spirit and be prepared for it.
Right. Art. Yeah. I'm gonna say this. Some creators don't want to say this, but creators are super sensitive when it comes to their work. I know for a fact. I know. I could sit here and I draw something and my husband be like, oh, this looks like such and such. And that's not exactly what I'm drawing. I will literally drop it and be like, fuck it. I don't want to draw this no more. I'm done. And I won't pick up a pencil or anything or lead for a month and a half. And he's sitting up here just chilling, scratching his ass, going to sleep, playing video games. He don't even know what the fuck he just did to me. I'm like, fuck you. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta have tough skin. You have to have tough
skin. Especially if you want to work. If you want to work, you have to have tough skin, because people who appreciate art but are not artists are not going to have the vocabulary to tell you what you're doing wrong. So they just going to be like, ew, why I look like that? What's that? What's that shape? Why she look like a dog? Or like, something crazy. And it's going to be like, it look like a dog? What does it look like? It's like,
I wasn't even, right.
You got to have the tough skin for that, because sometimes that shit happens. And you got to like understand, like, okay, that's not what they mean. That's what they said, but that's not what they mean. Right. They just mean fix it. And like, it's gonna be fine.
It is. Just believe in yourself. More than anything, you gotta believe in you.
Don't let it break your spirit. Right. Don't let any of this shit break your spirit.
I want to ask you, did you see Candyman?
No. I didn't. I was planning to see Candyman. I bought the tickets and everything. I was supposed to go with a friend, and he was not able to go because of this Rona. So I was like, all right.
Damn, I should have asked you this off screen because there's you know, the main protagonist. He's actually an artist, a New York artist, and
did he create the album art?
Well, no, he plays one. I don't think he is one. I'm not sure. I got to do research on that.
Because the album art was like painted. The album art looks really good. So, like, I don't know. It was just like, it was very, I don't know. It was very.
No, I know what you're
jazzy.
talking about. I know that piece. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it was him. I'm not too sure, but it's, I got to double check. But there is one scene, spoiler, not too much of a spoiler.
Okay, because I ain't hear it. I mean, I ain't see it. So, like, should I be concerned? I want to see it.
No, it's really good. It's really good. I loved it. The thing was, he actually has his piece in exhibit, and there is I think an art critic who was there to see his piece, and she made a comment about artists, like, you know, the fake ones that front like they poor and they purposely buy, not buy, but they purposely go get an apartment in a rundown project just to feel inspired, I guess. Right? Like that's, you know, when they try to, like, say for instance, you're an artist and you want to put a piece about, you know, New York, about, you know, before gentrification. Mm-hmm. So some of these artists will go in the city and they'll rent an apartment and then they'll front like they know the experience, the Black experience, and they'll just paint it or whatever they want to do as far as like exploit it to get funds. Because at this time, this season right now, Black exploitation, like, you know, like pictures of kids playing in the fire hydrant wet, having fun, they consider that art. Like, this is what's in right now. But really, they don't know anything about the art. They just feel like, okay, I'm going to get exposure because I'm for the Blacks. You know what I mean? So that I wanted
to. A white artist or Black artist?
No, it was the critic who said it was a white woman who said that. And she said it to the Black artist, saying that I could tell the difference between your work and an artist who's fronting like they've been from the hood, right. You know? And I was like thinking like, God damn, bitch, that was raw. I wasn't expecting that. And I know it was raw, but you know, since I kind of want you, we'll pivot back on that on another time when you actually see it. I wanted to know what your take is on that, because that shit was good. The pieces were like, there are actually pieces in the movie that was like breathtaking. That was like really edgy and dark and like it was good. It was good. I like Candyman. I wish there was more backstory. You know what? That's how I know it was good, because I wanted more of it. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. So you said you're a mangaka, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Before we get into that, I just want to ask your opinion. You heard what happened to the creator of Demon Slayer, right? How when the movie came out, she got like, all right, so this is what happened. The what's the Mugen Train? So when that movie came out, the Demon Slayer movie came out during the pandemic, right? It was released, and they said that movie kind of saved the box office in Japan. This woman got only $20,000 for that movie.
Why?
Because here's the thing. When you're a mangaka and your shit gets picked up, they give you one check that one time. Because what they'll do is that they'll tell you, well, you know, we're taking a chance on putting your shit and making your shit into an anime. We don't know if it's going to take off. Right. So we're going to give you this one-time check. It wasn't even $20,000. It was $19,200. Wait, it was $19,201, if I'm saying it right. That's what she got as a check, while everybody else was banking, right? So
damn, she ain't got no royalties on that.
This is Japan. What you mean royalties? they don't do you. If you're not Oda, if you're not the creator of Hunter x Hunter, if you're not the creator of Naruto, none of that shit is possible. And then you a female on top of that. They're not doing that.
True.
Like,
that's a damn shame. They should be ashamed of themselves, because she had to cut the story early because she had to take care of, I think her father was sick, or one of her parents.
She had a family emergency, and the ending that we got was, I don't think that was the ending we were supposed to get. She was rushed because she had to meet the deadline. So I was just like, bruh, can you imagine? Because Demon Slayer is, to me, Demon Slayer is a typical shonen, but it's a good shonen. I give it what it is. It's a good shonen, and shit, it's like Game of Thrones. They're not afraid to kill off who need to be killed off. Like, oh, fuck it, boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead. You're dead. Like, it's just good. But hearing that, right? Does that ever make you cautious of stepping into that field of being a mangaka? I mean, but let me just say this. She did get another check. I don't know how much that second check was. It could be a lie, but rumors saying that she got another check when motherfuckers found out that was her check for the movie. So I gotta do research if she did get another check. But doesn't that make you feel like a little like, goddamn?
Totally. Especially if I'm just gonna speak to like the truth of the situation, like Japan is still, as much as I love Japan, my husband is Japanese, you know, we love Japan over here, but Japan is still pretty sexist. They're very sexist still. So I'm not surprised that they might have been like, oh, well, we're just gonna throw this check over here and whatever happens. The way that the anime industry is set up, I understand why they've done that. But that is a problem with the industry. That's not her problem. Like, cut her the real check.
Right. But that's the thing though. Like, I'm very disappointed that they did that, because you mean to tell me I'm putting people's, like I said before, I'm putting niggas' kids through college, and all you truly we're talking about billions of yens, billions. Right? And you mean to tell me that this is all I get to rest my head and that's it? Nah, cut me my coin. But the crazy thing is that she never said anything. She never said anything at all. She just kept a tight lip, and that was it. She just took her check. That was it.
She's not going to. That's on culture. She's not going to do that. But as far as my personal thing is, of course I'm worried about that. Something that I've been thinking about lately is whether or not I want to continue to stay independent. And if I am really, really needing coin, then take private client jobs. Maybe occasionally dip into industry stuff for like one-shot projects. But as far as long-running series go, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It does make me very nervous to think that I'm going to be slaving away making coin for somebody else. Like, if I wanted to do that shit, I would work at a regular 9-to-5 where I have a boss. Where I have a manager, to be honest. And there's no shade to that, no disrespect to that. You know, we need people to be in all types of work. But for me specifically, the way that I have my plan set up, if that was what I was going to do, I would not be doing this. I would not set it up in this way to be doing this. It does make me nervous. The more that I think about it, honestly, the more I'm kind of like, I'm going to stay independent and try to push my own stuff. Right. And if I do get published, it may be indie only. I'd have to look and see who I'm, sort through them contracts and make sure that my stuff is correct.
Protected.
But totally protected. And like, the more current news that I'm hearing from just the entertainment industry in general about like artists and creators, even actors these days, how they're being skimped out when it comes to like getting their coins, it's kind of like, oh, y'all are trying to be a precedent. Y'all trying to make a precedent here. Like, y'all are trying to create a new system, and I'm not for it. You know, even though this is not a visual arts kind of thing or like a mangaka kind of thing, even with the situation with Scarlett Johansson and Disney.
I knew you was gonna do that. I knew you was gonna do that.
Not to get too into it.
No, I totally get you.
You know, I'm not a huge Scarlett Johansson fan. I like the movies that she's in, but like I don't cape for her. But you know, you can't be telling somebody one thing and then turn around and do another and think.
Hey, what's up? You have just finished listening to part 1 of Artist Alley with my girl Gigi. Do not forget to follow her on all her major platforms. I will definitely have all her descriptions of all her platforms on this video of this on the YouTube channel, not to mention on the description of this episode on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to our podcast, it will be there. Do not forget to send your letters to Ask Black Ramen at blackramenpodcast@gmail.com. Tune in for next week for part 2. Don't forget to visit our website to get cool merch. Is blackramenpodcast.com. And with that being said, later guys.